Our American Lands presents Is 30 by 30 Real or Conspiracy? Part 2. How 30 by 30 is affecting Colorado. Time to show you how ugly this can get. These images are compiled using the latest reports of planned and existing land grabs in Colorado. This image represents the globalist long-term plans. 53 million acres of Colorado's 66 million acres under federal, United Nations, private land trusts, NGO, or foreign investor control. Fortunately, many of these land grabs are still in the proposal stage. All public lands in Colorado are already under federal protection management. The land, the water, and the wildlife has been fully protected for decades. Since 1992, even Native American artifacts and grave sites are protected under the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. The proposed 90,000-acre Conejos Castilla County's National Conservation Area, or Threatened Monument, proponents have yet to state why this designation is needed at all, being as it is already protected. Stop the proposed Conejos County, Colorado National Conservation Area or Threatened National Monument.
The locally led working group that is trying to convince you, the public here, that a National Conservation Area designation and compromise is the best path forward to prevent the Dolores River Canyon country from becoming a national monument in the future. They're saying that somewhere down the road, say 4 years from now, another administration could once again threaten this area as a monument. And if it's already a national conservation area, it would prevent that. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that is not true. The President of the United States can designate, using the Antiquities Act of 1906, a national monument over the top of a national conservation area at any time. And so can Congress. So the President's power and our United States Congress power supersedes any local designations, period. And that is not my opinion. That is federal law. To me, access to public lands and liberty go hand in hand. Without one, you can't have the other. Halt the Dolores Monument. Halt the Dolores National Conservation Area. And never apologize for being patriotic.
December 2023, non-native Canadian gray wolf introduction area, 3 million acres. This introduction has cost Colorado taxpayers $7 million so far. Expense to Colorado agriculture has exceeded $585,000. Governor Polis blames ranchers for expenses and losses. Wolves are just like big cute dogs until they eat yours. Proposed protection area for Canadian lynx. Should this happen, 5 million acres, including 400,000 acres of private property, will face restrictions. It is already protected. Here, kitty, kitty. These experts say Canadian lynx only eat snowshoe hare. These introductions hurt what was well-managed deer and elk populations. Proposed power transmission corridors for wind and solar generated energy that rarely benefits residents having to endure these installations, using easements and eminent domain to consume 5 million acres of private property in southeastern Colorado. Proposed areas for massive wind turbine installations. These turbines kill thousands of birds, including hawks and bald eagles. It uses gear oil to lubricate the gearbox. These systems are all about the green. When these turbines fail, the soil, vegetation, and crops can become contaminated with gear oil and fiberglass. BLM proposed San Luis Valley Water and Land Reclamation Project. This massive 3.8 million acre area is mostly private property. This plan wants to create new wetlands, likely curtailing farmers' water rights. These are the proposed areas for massive solar farms covering over prime farmland. To mine, manufacture, and install these monuments to giant egos cannot be built without oil, gas, and coal. To date, there is no baseload reliable 24/7, 365 energy source capable of replacing our very reliable oil, gas, and coal. More than 100,000 acres of Colorado private land is currently under conservation easements. These easement contracts give 100% control of your land to the federal government, a land trust, or NGO. Have a listen to Margaret Byfield with American Stewards of Liberty sum up what an easement really is.
Conservation easement is, well, it's a device that the environmentalists created years ago. And one of the first documents that we read on it, the discussion for creating these was that they knew that in order to control private property, they would never have enough money to actually go out and buy it. Therefore, one of the things they came up with was this conservation easement. It would give them the ability to control property, but they wouldn't have to actually purchase the entire property, but they still have the same functional control. So that was the genesis of a conservation easement. Another key thing they did was they named it conservation easement, when actually, as the device in law that it actually fits is something called a conservation servitude. The reason is because once that conservation easement is placed on the landowner becomes the subservient estate. They're no longer the primary entity controlling that land. So it's known as a conservation servitude. Again, they knew if they called them conservation servitudes, many landowners would immediately back away because they would understand what that meant.
The Conservation Reserve Program, counties. The USA should never have to import food or feed we can grow here. Our American Lands supports working and producing family-owned and operated farms and ranches. Current CRP program enrollment, 24.7 million acres not being farmed. So, what will it be? You gonna sit back and hope, take our freedoms for granted, or will you support and join forces with these organizations and many more around the country are in the trenches fighting for land and water rights for all of us, but we cannot do it alone. Pitch in, donate, show up, make calls. Now is the time to end 30 by 30 globally for good. All these fighters care deeply about freedom. Our American Lands efforts to stop the proposed Conejos County National Conservation Area or threatened national monument. Go to OurAmericanLands.com website to sign the petition.
To me, access to public lands and liberty go hand in hand. Without one, you can't have the other. Halt the Dolores Monument, halt the Dolores National Conservation Area, and never apologize for being patriotic.
Our next speaker, Simone Griffin, is with the Blue Ribbon Coalition. She's going to explain what the Blue Ribbon does, the challenges and victories regarding government closures of land and roads. She's a longtime advocate for motorized recreation and champion to the communities to keep public lands open for multi-use. My friend, Simone Griffin.
Okay, thanks everybody for being here, and thanks Josh for putting this all together. I don't like going after Sean. The ponds are a force to be reckoned with, so they are awesome. Any National Conservation Area monument questions about Colorado and national monuments in general, I mean, you can't go wrong to reach out to the ponds, sign their petition, get on board with that. So I'll make this as quick as I can. I could talk about this stuff for hours. I always joke that I was born into this. My grandpa was a county commissioner, a state legislator. He founded what was called the Sagebrush Rebellion and worked with President Reagan on multiple use and access to our lands. My dad's a rancher, a small mining claim owner. I mean, it's just who I am. It's how I was raised.
This is what our founders understood, is whoever owns the land controls the nation.
And therein lies the road to war, because those voices don't speak for the rest of us. You and I know and do not believe that life is so dear and peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery. If nothing in life is worth dying for, when did this begin? Just in the face of this enemy? Or should Moses have told the children of Israel to live in slavery under the Pharaohs? Should Christ have refused the cross? Should the patriots at Concord Bridge have thrown down their guns and refused to fire the shot heard round the world? The martyrs of history were not fools. And our honored dead, who gave their lives to stop the advance of the Nazis, didn't die in vain. Where then is the road to peace? Well, it's a simple answer after all. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance.